Hi, welcome back to my channel, According to Kat. If you are new here, please introduce yourself in the comments below. If you're returning, just say hi. And what are we going to be making today? Hi everyone, I hope you are doing well, and today we are going to be making these 4 DIYs. The first thing we're going to be making is this wreath frame, along with 2 wall art pieces and a really cute hanging basket. I used Dollar Tree and other really affordable products, so if you want to learn how to make all 4 of these, stay tuned. If you'd like to know what supplies I've used, check out the description box below. And with all that being said, let's get right into the video. Okay, DIY number 1, wreath frame and wall art. So the first thing I did was I took this Dollar Tree, actually the back of a makeup case or a change purse, whatever you want to call it. I used it in one of my previous videos, and it's just the back of it, and I thought I would use it for a DIY. So I am just mapping out a rectangle. It really was no particular size. I just wanted the edges to be straight. And then I just cut those off. Now I'm taking this stencil that I got at Walmart. It was really inexpensive. I want to say it was like $10. I got it a while ago, and I'm just taking my Waverly Chalk Paint in Elephant, and I am just stippling it on with a Dollar Tree stencil brush. I really like these, and they work really well, and I seem to have good luck with them. So I was going to use a Dollar Tree stencil. It was like floral, but then it really didn't go with the vibe I was going for, so that's why I went for this piece. But use any stencil that you have. And I am just dabbing that on and trying to make sure I am filling in all of those open spaces. Okay, and there we go. I just pulled it off. Look at that. Looking good. Okay, so now I am going to take 2 very large popsicle sticks. These are the jumbo size ones. I got these at Walmart, and actually I don't know if I did. I think I got these at Dollar Zone, which I know is not in everybody's area, but you can get them at Walmart as well. And I'm just cutting them to the size that I would like, and then I just cut out 2 of those to that size, and then I'm just hot gluing it on. The material is almost like a vinyl that you could just wipe clean type of vinyl, and I thought it was really cool to use for this type of project. Now I'm taking a thick piece of twine and I am burning it to get all of the fuzz off, and I'm going to use that as my hanger. But first I'm going to take these Walmart beads. You get a whole tub of them for $10, and I use them all the time, and I have so many left, so I think it's a really good deal. And you get so many different colors too. So I just knotted the ends where I put those 2 on so they don't fall off, and right there. And then I will just hot glue those in the back. I'm just kind of measuring it out how long I want them, just making my knots. And then I'll flip it over and put some hot glue on either side. And I am just pushing down the twine so it stays adhered to the back of this little, I don't know, what would we call this? Little wall art, not frame, I don't know, hanging scroll art piece? Yeah, let's call it that. And I am putting a little more hot glue right on top, and then taking a burlap ribbon, and I am just pressing that down right over top to make sure it stays. And I'm just going to hang it just like that. And here it is. Oh my gosh, I love this one. Okay, now I am taking this Dollar Tree wooden plaque. It already has a twine handle on it, and I just burned that little fuzz off. And I am either going to take a jumbo popsicle stick or this flat piece of, what's that wood called? This is one of my midnight voiceovers, and you know I can't think. It is balsa wood. That's it, balsa wood. And I got this at Hobby Lobby, and you get a whole pack of them. They're really neat, and you get thin ones and thick ones, and you get all these different sizes, and it's like $7, and you can use a coupon. It's really great, and I used them for so many projects. So now I'm just taking my Dollar Tree sanding sponge, and I am just sanding off the edges now that I cut the edges, rounded them to size, and I am going to just hot glue that in place. And I'm just going to keep this wood on wood because I thought it was, you know, kind of boho, and it kind of went with the theme. And I am just going over it one more time to make sure the edges look as smooth as they can. And if you need to go back in with the scissors, then you can go right back in with the scissors. Or you could use an X-Acto knife. So now I'm using these metal letters from the Dollar Tree and my Gorilla gel glue. And I'm using the word peace. This is from Christmas time, but I thought it went with the whole boho vibe. This is going to go in my daughter's room, and she liked this word. So I am using this Gorilla Glue Super Glue Gel because it does a really good job bonding things, and I'm just putting it in all little areas that I can, and all you need is a dot. So I just used a dot, and it held it down perfectly. And I'm trying not to get it on my fingers because then I have no fingerprint and cannot access my phone. So there we go. And I'm just maneuvering it in place and just cleaning it off a little bit. And there you go. And that's going to be 2 of the wall art pieces. So cute. So I just want to take a moment and talk about my good friend Holly from Hot Humble Pie. I met her in an open invite collab that I did, and she had messaged me, and I went to check out her channel, and I loved it. If you have not checked it out, you need to. She's only been doing this a few months, but man, is she good, and I love all the stuff she makes. So make sure you go check her out. Let her know I sent you. And if you are new to my channel, my name is Kat. I love to do decor on a budget. I upload every week, and I do DIYs using Dollar Tree products, thrift, uplifts, things like that. And I would love for you to be a part of my channel. So yeah, I would love if you'd subscribe. Okay, let's move on. So I am using this pack of paper that I got from Joann's, and it's a lot of blacks and whites and grays, and I remember getting it for a very, very, very good deal. And I'm using like this old white erase board. I think I had it in my classroom, my elementary room, when I used to teach elementary like forever ago. Now I teach high school, and it was falling apart, and I thought, let me try to do something with this. So I just used my Elmer's spray glue. Just make sure you peel off all that dry glue, because then it just squirts all over and it gets like gloppy, and then it doesn't stick as nice. But I love to use a spray adhesive when I'm doing something with paper like this, because I feel it doesn't, I don't know, like, you know, bubble up or anything. Bubble up. I couldn't even think of the word bubble up. So bad. All right, so now I am just using my X-Acto knife and cutting around the edges, and I am trying to put it back together, and I will get it there, believe me. So I push it in place, and I am trying to get those little pins together. Now I'm going to take some hot glue just to reinforce it so it doesn't come apart again, and just taking some popsicle sticks that I cut up into little rectangles, and that's how I'm going to hold it together. Now I'm using a soda can tab as a way to hang it. Now I put this in the wrong area because I'm hanging it horizontally and not vertically, so I will go back and put another one. So I'm using this wired raffia. I got this at a thrift store for 60 cents. I got a whole bunch of sticks of it, but you can get it at Hobby Lobby or any craft store, and a lot of times they come on a roll, kind of like a ribbon would, and I like to use those as well. Now I'm using this greenery that I got from Hobby Lobby a long time ago, and you know I use these boxwoods and I love them, and you get them in the garland and you get so much more for your money, but they're really hard to glue. They don't like to glue. I think it's the material that they are. So I decided to get out my Dollar Tree wire, and it's the green one. They have the silver, black, and green in a pack at the Dollar Tree. I think it's in the automotive section, and I just start wrapping it around, and I take like a pretty big piece, not huge. It's not going to wrap around the whole thing, just so I can manipulate it better. And I will just keep going, and I'll keep adding on little sprigs of that boxwood, and I'll go left. I'll put one like to the left out of the wreath, and then I put one to the right inside the wreath, and then out towards the outside of the wreath, then the inside of the wreath, and yeah, back and forth. So that way it stays pretty full, and I like the way it looks. And that's just what I did. I went right around. Now I am putting on the other soda tab so I can hang it horizontally, and I just take a little piece of ribbon just to hold that in place. Now I will take this ribbon. This is from Hobby Lobby, and I know that Dollar Tree does carry something similar to that in gray, but I didn't have it, and I still haven't gone out to stores yet except one time. So yeah, I'm using what I have. I just took some hot glue, glued that together, folded it over the top around that wreath, and now I will just cut that off, the extra off, and that's it. And I will just put a little more hot glue down. Actually, I don't. I just hold it in place. I'm just fixing the tab, pulling that out a little more, and this one's done. And for something that was falling apart, it looks so darn cute, and I love all three of these together. So I hope you like this as much as I do. Okay, DIY number 4. Even though it says 2, it's really 4. I'm using this Dollar Tree plant basket and this yarn. I believe I got that at Joann's, and I like that it's like that zigzaggy. I don't know if that's called something. Puckered yarn. Let's call it puckered yarn. So I am wrapping it around twice. I don't know why, but just get a good enough piece. So you're taking 2 long pieces, okay? And then you are going to fold them in half so that they're just meeting at the same point. And then the bottom, you're going to knot, all right? So now I'm going to make, I believe it's called a lark head knot. Don't quote me on that. And I basically make it around the whole entire basket. And I'm going to show you how I do this. So I start off with the lark head knot, right? And then because I have 4 pieces, I take 2 pieces, split them in half, and put all the rest of the yarn through that hole. Now watch, I'm going to show you because I'm doing a really bad job explaining it. My hands are in the way here. So you see how I did that? Okay, watch. So I split this in half, so 2 and 2. And then I take the rest of it, go around and go through, then push that down. Split it in half, 2 and 2, go around, go through those pieces, and then push it down. So I do that for the entire basket, and I just keep going. See, I got to the same point where I started, and I'll just go right below it, and then I push down. Now, I made this up, like I was just trying to get around that basket somehow, and everything I was doing, I really didn't like the way it looked, or it wasn't staying up, or what have you. So I really liked how this turned out. So yeah, that's why I thought I'd share it with you. So I got to the point where I got to the end of my string, and I am getting my next bunch. So again, I take 2 really long pieces that are the same size, and I fold those in half, both of them. So I have the 2 loops, and then the bottoms I just tie into a knot. It really doesn't matter because you cut that off anyway. So I just tie it in a knot. Okay, and I do that for all the bunches of yarn that I do. So now I'm just going to do the same thing. So I did my lark head knot. I'm going to cut all that off in the end, you'll see. And or now just cut it off now. And Then I'm going to go around, split it in half, go through the middle again, split it in half, go around the wire, and go through the middle. And I just keep doing that all the way to the bottom of the basket. Now, I liked holding the basket like this because then I could just push it down and gravity kept those down until I got to the end. And I just went around the whole basket just like this. Now, I didn't want to make my strings too long because they would have been really hard to manipulate and get through. It just would have taken me longer. But if you would rather have less knots, you don't really notice them once the whole basket's done, but you can make longer pieces. I just chose manageable pieces of yarn. So that's why I cut them to the length I did. There was really no rhyme or reason to the length, just as much as I could handle. Again, I did the same thing, 2 long pieces, same size, folded them in half, and then knotted the end. I go back in, you can see I'm going to show you right here nice and close. So I just take the last of the remaining piece, I take my new 2 loops, put it through, make that lark head knot. If this is the wrong knot, I'm using it throughout my entire voiceover, but that's okay. Tell me if it's wrong. I'm going to get a million messages. I know it. That's okay. You guys teach me so much, and I do appreciate it. I love when you guys tell me things or teach me something or give me tips and ideas. I do love it. All right. So now I am just moving on right along. I did leave some of this in. Now, I don't show you the whole basket, but like I said, it's easier to see what someone's doing sometimes than for them to explain it. So this is one of those things. This is one of those DIYs where you really understand it more when you see it than when I explain it. So I kept in a little more than I normally would. Okay, so now that I'm getting towards the bottom, it gets a little more difficult because you can see how the wires kind of bend a lot more to get to the bottom, to the center. And you just have to make sure you're pushing down on all the pieces before it. You will have some gaps here and there, but that's okay. We're going to do what we can to fix it. And it looks really good in the end, so it's okay that there are some gaps. As long as you keep doing it in the same formation, it will look really well. And remember, if you're enjoying this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps my channel grow, and yeah, I would appreciate it. So this is a fast forward towards the end of the basket, and it's a little more difficult to get the yarn through because it starts to get a little tighter, but just do your best. And then once I got to where I wanted to be, then I was trying to figure out how I wanted to do the bottom. I was thinking about hanging just like some, yarn pieces hanging down from it, but I ended up not doing that. So I might go back and do that, but I didn't do it to start out with. So I didn't know how I wanted to close up the bottom, and then I decided I'm not closing up the bottom, but I will go around. You see that black wire on the inside? Right now I'm just kind of cleaning it up, and any of those knots that were left over, I'm cutting them as close as I can, and everything's staying in place and working out great. So this is what I decided to do. I didn't like that black wire showing, so I am taking the rest of that yarn and I am just literally looping it around, and I go around that whole circle. And I just keep looping it just to cover up the black wire, and it closes in the bottom circle a little bit. And then I'm coming to the end of the yarn, well, actually the end of where the black is. I put a little knot, and then whatever's left over there, I am just hot gluing that down, and you really can't even see it. It blends it right in, and it's fine. So now I want to go up the basket, just to, kind of pull in those sides a little bit. So I do the same thing. I do the lark head knot right at the top. I'm going to go in between each of those black wires, and you can see them, so I'm going between. So I take 2 pieces, fold them in half, again just like I did before, so you'll have the 4 strings hanging, and then I go right to the bottom, go around the bottom ring wire, and then just knot that in place, and then I will cut off all that remaining extra. But that's where you could, if at that point you wanted to have strings hanging, that's where I would do it. So I'm going to show you more here. Again, do your knot at the top, go down, and you see that little spring at the bottom, go around it, go through it, and you go through the 2 just like we did before. And I actually cut those at this point and just tied it around that and made a knot, and then cut off any excess. And then I just really cut it close, and then if you need to, you could always hot glue those little ends in place, but if you cut close enough, it really is not a problem. Again, I'm just showing you, that's the quick way of doing it. And then I cut it. You have the 2 long pieces folded in half, same thing, split them in half as you're going down. It's just a little easier. Go through, and there you go. Tie it around into a knot. So I kind of go behind what I just brought down, and then I put one behind it and one in front of it, and then I tie it into a knot that way. And I'm just cutting off any extra little pieces that should not be there. And there you go. So cute. All right, so at this point I want to do the hanging parts. So I just took 1 piece, kind of did the lark head knot. Again, if this is not the name of this, I think I said it 3,000 times in this video. Okay, so I go around, and there are 3 little notches where you can hang your yarn from. So I just went around and used a little stick to help me get it through. And then I just did the same thing to all 3 of those. And then I'm going to dress those up a bit. I want to use the wooden beads. I got these at Hobby Lobby, $1.49. I think you get 12 in a pack, and I love them because they're pretty large. And if you use a coupon, they're even cheaper. So I'm just using this little stick again, pushing it through. And there you go. Got that ready. And I'm going to put 2 on each of those the hanging yarn pieces. So just go right around and do all 3 the same with 2 wooden beads. And just move to all 3 of those pieces and put on 2 beads. You could put 3, you could put 1, you could put none. I just thought it added to that element. So I take the top, because I made that pretty long, those pieces at the top, and you see that binder clip? I got that at the Dollar Tree in like the school or stationery section, and I kind of just tied it into a knot. I tied it over and around, and then I had this extra piece hanging down, so I kind of wrapped it around itself like this, and then I'll just cut off any excess. And I glued down what I could, and then I thought, you know what, I want a little more. I wanted it a little thicker, so I took some extra leftover string and like 3 pieces, and I just kind of wrapped it around itself with some hot glue. And then I wasn't sure what I was going to do. I thought maybe I was going to let it like cut it, and then a few pieces were hanging, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to leave those there. And I had 1 more bead left, so actually I had 2 more beads left, so I thought, you know what, let me just put 2 beads right here at the top, and have some pieces hanging down, just because I'm not going to put it at the bottom. Let me put it up where the ring is. And I really like how that looked. So I just made a little knot there, and then I pulled them over the knot so that they don't fall down. And then I cut off any of that excess yarn that's hanging down. We are almost done with this. And you could see what the top looks like right here. I kind of pull it down a little bit, and I really like how that looked. Okay, You'll see it more at the end. Okay, so now I have this little plastic piece. It fit perfectly in there. It's raised up a little bit, but I liked that because it will keep my greenery up higher. That's just like a plastic container for food that I got from Costco. And then that little round disc, that styrofoam disc, is from Dollar Tree. And this garland is from Hobby Lobby, $15.99, half off. So it was about $8. And I am cutting off pieces and I'm positioning it so that it's almost like a full plant, even though it will not be full. You'll see. There's really not that many pieces in there, but when it's all said and done, it really does look full. I put some green, what is that called? Is that Excelsior? Excelsior. People, it's after midnight. I get delirious. You know that. And I am just fluffing this up so it makes it look like I have more greenery, and I think it looks really great at the end. I hope you like this as much as I do. Okay, here we are at the final reveal, my favorite part of the video. We get to recap everything we just made. So the wall art, we have the wreath in the frame and the really cute hanging basket. I love how boho they all are. And I'm going to pick a favorite, but this one's a toughie because it's going to be between the wreath and this one right here with the flower on it. But I think I'm going to go with this one with the flower on it, just because it's something I haven't done before and I love it. Let me know in the comments below which one's your favorite. And remember, go check out Holly from Hot Humble Pie. She's absolutely awesome, and tell her I sent you. You will not regret it. Thanks, guys. So that's it. That's the end of my video, and I hope you liked everything you saw here today, and I hope it inspires you to make something of your own. If you have not checked me out on Instagram over at Cat Luna Designs, please do so. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and as always, thanks for watching. Bye! I hope you are all doing well out there. I'm thinking about you, and forget that. That's weird.